Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back, man, to the Foul Report. The Foul Report, man. I'm your boy Doc, man. And if you're feeling a little out of it, man, a little down, uh, talk to somebody, man. Talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. Don't take the decision into your own hand. Talk to somebody. Uh, yeah. Welcome. Hopefully my voice don't sound too crazy. Or it's been yelling. Um, my son's football scrimmage. I was yelling and excitement and happiness, and joy. The boys were working hard. They learned valuable lesson and they had big fight in them, man. So, but clap it up. Clap it up. If I can get my come on now. You gotta be kidding me. Oh man. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me get my stuff right. All right. All right. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, just wanna. There you go. I might be good now. Want to clap it up for him? I don't know what's going on now. I don't know what's going on. But yeah. That's why my voice is like this. I try not to talk too much because I wanna get caught back up with this Nolan Wells incident. I've been real busy. A lot of stuff been happening. My happy birthday to my rally and termite Jane, man. Really my rally termite, man. Happy birthday, bro. Yeah, many blessings. But yeah, man, without any further ado, let me try to get to this. Get to this real quick. Man, we're gonna play. Now, what I want to do is there's new info or a new interview, Art of Dialogue, give them a hand clap. They've been doing real good on covering this via guests, like this is a prominent guest. He's a judge in our community. He knows a lot. He's been following the case. He's real good on so to catch up, I'm gonna play this full interview. Then we're gonna turn around and we're gonna go into the new stuff that came out where Ben Crump is actually being interviewed by Art of Dialogue. I'm just saying Art of Dialogue is doing their thing with this. So let's go in, let's head into this content. Stop listening to my raspy voice, Yeah.
Judge Mathis, happy to have you back, my man. So much I want to get into. Had to bring you back on to follow up on this Nolan Wells case, man.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yes, indeed. So much to get into. I don't want to waste no time. I want to get right into it. How you feel about this second autopsy that was done on Nolan Wells?
Yes, I think when we last spoke, we were awaiting the forensic autopsy because the original autopsy performed by the county examiner, we just weren't convinced it would be independent, quite frankly, because we weren't getting enough information from law enforcement. And so the forensic autopsy came back. And lo and behold, even though they're trying to downplay it, and I understand Ben Crump and NAACP and others don't want to try and jump to conclusion or step too far out, but the forensic autopsy showed that there was what they call discoloration. No, I call them bruises in the back of the head, appearing that someone has had their hand pressed at the back of their head, at the back of Nolan's head. That's concerning to me. And so hopefully we'll get some more insight on that. I'm not sure. It seems like there's another opportunity for them to investigate something physiological. I'm just not sure because as far as I knew, the forensic autopsy is as far as you go, but we'll see. But yeah, that's what causes new concern. And then you've had different stories coming out from the teenagers. One of the young men himself spoke out about it, claiming they had begged Nolan to get on the boat, and that he wouldn't. Then there's the woman that he's supposed to have stayed back with, I think her name Katie or something. Well, he was supposed to have stayed back with Katie. That was their story. However, Katie's friend says that Katie she saw him only in passing on the island, didn't stay with him. And Katie isn't saying anything at all. So it's a lot of moving parts here. And I'm just hoping it's not one of those, quite frankly, and if his friends didn't have anything to do with it and they truly left him behind, et cetera, he has discoloration, bruises on the back of his neck. Something happened. And quite frankly, this is Mississippi, where in 1955, which sparked the civil rights movement, Emmett Till was killed for so-called whistling at a white woman. And now we're hearing Nolan Wells stayed back to be with a white woman, and he turns up dead with bruises behind his neck. That's the context I'm putting this in. It's Emmett Till, perhaps, all over.
Wow. So you feel like the dynamics between Nolan Wells and Emmett Till is similar?
Well, the dynamics are the same. He's with a white woman, or allegedly said something with, or however you view it, with a white woman, and there's a suspicion that white men killed him. And that was the case with Emmett Till. He so-called whistled as a kid. 13 was he? Whistled so-called the woman at the store. White woman says he whistled at her. What happened? White men killed him. And that's why I'm making that analogy. But it could altogether be untrue. But I'm making the analogy as a possibility. And that is the case of my thought processes.
So it was actually bruises behind his neck?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, what else? Why is it only there in the back of your neck, which is coincidentally how you drown somebody? You put your head in the back of the neck and not let them up, and they try and push up, but you got the head down, so the head bruises in the back of the neck because somebody tried to hold it down or did hold it down. I'm only presenting the facts, and I only made the analogy to Emmett Till because it's the same optics. However, do I know whether it's the same? Do I know any of the factors that I'm suggesting is accurate? No, but I am making observations about the facts as I see them. And then I am, yes, speculating. And quite frankly, in the law, you're not supposed to speculate. You're supposed to have hard facts. But in this case, since nobody's given us any hard facts, we can't get into the information that we need, then yes, we're left to only speculate.
Organs was missing during his autopsy, right?
Yeah, and they allege now that that's standard. I'm not sure about that, so I can't tell you. I don't know about autopsies in that sense. But they said one of his lungs and then parts of his throat, and I read that that's typical, but I just don't know. And I'm not one to try and find something that is not there. I mean, we have enough that's there that we don't have to go looking too further. Did they take tissues from those organs and analyzing them for further evidence or insights, etc.? We don't know. What we do know is that he left and drowned, and his buddies are not speaking. And the one that just spoke about it acted as if they pressured him to leave, and he wouldn't. However, they left his phone. They have that. They don't present it to his mother as an average person would. Time I get back, he didn't come with us. He left his phone. I'm calling your parents. And I understand that they didn't even call him immediately after finding out that he had been drowned or that he had drowned. So that's certainly the time that you call and say, hey, I see he's drowned. I have his phone. No, they waited. And in fact, some of the information had been deleted from that phone that had been there. And put all those things together and the discoloration on the neck, and I'm convinced that someone did something wrong. Yes, I am.
If it was bruises behind his neck, yeah, that needs to be looked into. It sounds like he got into an altercation.
And they allege that there's video of him getting into an altercation. I'm not sure if I've seen it or not. I've been paying close attention, but either I've heard or seen that he was involved in an altercation there. And who knows what that altercation is about? Once again, see, brothers, young Black boys being raised in upper income white communities, nearly exclusively white, 95%. In many instances, your friends don't feel about you as you may feel about them. There is a racial barrier that exists and will always exist. And your realities are always going to be different. And you're always going to be looked at by your white friends differently. And so to that extent, he may not have understood that to be the case. He may have had trust for those he shouldn't have. He may have had a particular mindset that wasn't quite as rational as it should be when you're growing up in that environment. Sometimes you're irrational and you think you can do the same things they do and get away with it. No, you can't. Your Black behind will go to jail and they'll go to counseling.
Yeah, the friend you're referring to is Warren Hudson. He did an interview where he made a comment about how Nolan, he was drinking alcohol on a boat.
Well, they all were. Who are they kidding? Who are they kidding? They all were. I bet it was, even if they had a 12-year.
I don't know about they all were, but I get what you're saying. Hey, what it do, Tommy? Sonya in the building. What it do, Tanya? Sonya? That like, man. Appreciate y'all stopping in. dropping them comments
on the island. He was
in
so
the
no.
chat.
Yes. So was he. So was everybody. So did everybody drown with bruises on the back of their neck?
Mm.
Did all the people drinking drown with bruises on the back of their neck? How is that relevant then? Unless he fell off, then you got dozens of witnesses seeing him fall off of a boat that is near dock because he wasn't on another boat. He stayed behind on the island, perhaps in the dock area. So what's the relevance of him drinking? He didn't get drunk and fall off in the ocean. We do know that in someone else's boat. So that's no relevance. That's just like saying George Floyd was high, and so therefore they had a right to execute him. And so we're saying now, oh, well, Nolan had been drinking. That doesn't give you a right to execute him. When I say execute him, I mean kill, of course.
Yeah, his friend doubled down that Nolan wanted to say. He also said that it was common for people to leave their phones on the boat before it won't get water damage.
No, not either. You know, no teenager in the world, they would risk the salt. What do you think? Salt water if you drop it? If you drop your phone in any water, you can drop it while you're on the dock. Drop it while you're in the boat. Drop it. So you can drop it in any place in the area of salt water. And so no, everybody, all those young people, it is not common. That's a lie. It is not common. And I have no facts to verify it other than common sense. And I don't believe that a lot of those teenagers actually leave their phones somewhere unattended for hours. That's what he would be suggesting. Because if you come there, you're not coming to the island for 10 minutes. You're coming to hang and party. And you're going to put your phone somewhere? You think, I don't believe young people can go an hour without their phone. I don't believe teenagers can go an hour without their phone without start shaking.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out because it still don't make sense to me because they never told Nolan mom that they had a phone. She had to use an app to find out. So
correct. Yeah, they had it and didn't turn it in. The only way they found it, as you just said, his mother had to use an app to find the phone, as opposed to them saying, "Oh, we have Nolan's phone," and the news comes on. "Oh, Nolan is missing. Let's call his mom immediately. We don't have her number. Walk to the house. We didn't know the address. Oh, so he really wasn't your friend. Now we're getting closer to the truth. You don't even know where he lived." My sons, we did a version of our show today, the MATHIS Family Tables, a YouTube show podcast, and one of the things we discussed is what are real friends? What does real friendship mean? And it was in the context of the Nolan Wells case. And it was easy for me. It means trust/loyalty, and then being able to identify with you. And in many instances, that's why my family says, "Well, you don't have any friends out here in LA. I don't want no friends in LA. I can't identify with them, nor do I trust them." And in fact, if I trust you and love you, you can cross me. I'm going to put you on time out for a minute, but I'm going to re-embrace you out of love. Now, if you did something to me to hurt me, then I'm going to go nuclear on you. But if you did something to help yourself, but not hurt me, I might give you a pass if you're a loved one. But if your objective was to hurt me, I got to hurt you 10 times over. So I say that to say, were they his real friends? Should he have trusted them? Should he have been loyal to them? Should he have believed they would never do anything to harm him, that they would only look out for his best interests? Probably not. He probably didn't know him that well enough to put that type of trust and faith in them.
Yeah, he also said that he told the United States Coast Guard and Nolan's mom that he was missing.
You call the Coast Guard, and you don't call his mother first. You call the Coast Guard. I mean, these are teenagers. This isn't like these are middle-aged people who, yes, you are a responsible enough person. Okay, I'll call the Coast Guard, and I know how they operate, and I know how to communicate with them, and I know the questions they're going to ask, and I know the answers.
That's one thing that came to my mind. They was kind of like well-versed in talking to the Coast Guard. Real.
Answers to give. No, you're a teenager.
Or
you need an adult
tow
to handle those
service,
situations, and you need a trusted adult that you go to. You go to either your own parent, you call. You say, "Mama, my man is missing. Nolan is missing. What do we do?" And they say, "Call 911 and have you call his parents." Maybe he called them. "No, we have his phone." "Oh, he left his phone?" "Yeah, he left his phone. Why did he leave his phone?" That's what would have happened. Would you call the Coast Guard if you're a teenager and your man ends up missing? Would you call the Coast Guard first? Or would you call your parents and say, "What do I do?" Or call his parent and say, "What do I do?" You're a teenager. You're calling somebody close and informed. Somebody close that you can trust and is informed and is close to him as well. And they didn't do that. Instead, as you say, they called the Coast Guard and told them what? How did they know? How long was he missing? Had they found the body? What'd you call the Coast Guard for? What'd you call the Coast Guard for? He told you he was going to be left behind. Did he have a curfew? Did he tell you he was going to be this amount of time? Why is it that you felt the need to call the Coast Guard at any point before he had been found drowned. There was no need. My man party. Oh, he must have spent the night with her. Oh man, Nolan getting it in. Shit, we might not see Nolan for a couple of days. Such and such and such and such. Nah, that's how you feel. If you trust that everything is all right with your man, it's only if you think something is wrong that you determine you need to call the authorities.
Great point. That's a real good point. Because even if he did say that he was going to stay, why would you panic and report that he's missing? Even if he is a little late.
Man, shout out to 100+ in the chat, man. Clap it up. Clap it up, man. Y'all dope. Y'all dope. Please hit that like if y'all here to support. Again, I'm catching up. This is Art of Dialogue's channel. He's been keep doing a good job on covering this. This is the full interview. Excuse my voice again. Let's go.
That just could have been both of them vibing out and hanging out more than expected.
Late what? Late what? Late from what? They don't know when he's coming back. He didn't tell them I'm gonna be back at such and such time. He told them I'm staying. They claim that he said I'm staying back with this woman. If you stand back with a woman, come on now, a teenager, you ain't giving your boys when you're gonna get back. You're gonna say, I'll see you when I see you. Hopefully it's tomorrow afternoon. After we do what we do. That's the mindset of a teenager staying behind and his boys going forward, knowing that their boy has been staying behind with his woman. But once again, the woman they claim he stayed with, her sister or best friend, said they only saw Nolan in passing on the island, not stayed with him.
Did you hear about how Warren Hudson, his stepmom, is a judge? And I think she came out with a statement and she doubled down that, Nolan, he chose to stay behind at the island.
Correct. And I guess it's just as, that's why it gives me such leniency to discuss what I believe to be the case. If another judge who was his mother and certainly biased had the tenacity to issue a press release confirming her in what her son said, which is biased in and of itself. Not one time have I ever accepted as evidence or solid testimony when someone tells me, well, I went over it with my mother and she can tell you. I got a letter from my mother. I got some evidence from my mother. Yeah, I know your mother. I got some evidence from my wife. Yeah, I know your wife's gonna tell you what you want me. You're gonna tell me what your wife want me to tell you. Yeah, I know you do. But it's totally discounted because of the bias that is innate in their relationship. So mother, you're a judge, you're a lawyer, whatever. The innate part of that is that they have a mother-son bond and nothing penetrates that, not even the law. Some of us might have seen this series called Your Honor, where the sitting judge, his son killed someone accidentally, and that sitting judge harbored his son, protected his son, even breaking the law himself to do it. So certainly, just because his mother's a judge and sticks up for him doesn't make any difference than if she was a sister in the hood with 8 kids trying to make it on her own. Same difference. Mother-son bond. That's it. That's the only credibility I give to her letter. I think I should get a little more credibility. I don't know anybody in it.
Yeah, she got a lot of backlash. A lot of people was accusing her of using her position to defend her stepson. So yeah, she got a lot of backlash. But it does make you think, do she know more than everybody else? I mean, I'm sure he gave her more information than we all know. So
I just think it's a mother-son bond, and I wouldn't think that she would. Then again, the show I'm talking about, Your Honor, he was conspiring with his son to keep him out of trouble. So there's been, and we say sometimes does art follow culture, or does art follow society, or does society follow art? So in the case of art, we had a show where a judge whose son committed murder, he conspired with his son to protect him from murder. Well, in real life, we have here a judge who has issued a statement on behalf of her son who is being discussed regarding the disappearance of someone. And so, yeah, I can't speak too fast about what a judge would do with regard to conspiring to protect a criminal act of their child. Would I do it? Yeah, I guess we're really getting down to those issues of the heart, to be quite frank. Not issues of your profession, issues of the heart. Because I could think of a circumstance or two that I would defend my son had he been wrong. So that's why I give it no credibility. But go ahead.
So the woman that Nolan was talking to, her name was Katie, and her sister Gracie came out and said that Nolan, he actually intended to go back to the mainland with his group.
And didn't she say they hadn't spent a lot of time together while they were there? He didn't stay back specifically to spend a lot of time with her, or they didn't spend a lot of time together, Katie and Nolan.
She definitely said that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so that kind of defeats the whole explanation that he insisted. We just kept, get on the boat, come on, Nolan, you got to get on the boat, And he doesn't, and that, as it turns out, there's no sense of desperation for him to stay off the boat because he has nothing really cooking, if you will, at the moment to be so insistent at being left behind without a ride back.
Yeah, the stories are conflicting. You got Nolan friends saying that he wanted to stay at the island, but you got Katie's sister Gracie saying that Nolan, he intended to go back to the group. So
a lot of moving parts, and I'm waiting to see about this grand jury and see what they say, because it's based on how the prosecutor presents that case to the grand jury. Grand jury hearings are one way. You don't have those who testify at the grand jury do not have the ability to have legal counsel. They are questioned by the prosecutor in front of the grand jury with the questions and the objectives that the prosecutor is trying to achieve. No defense attorney can say object.
Hey, Sherry, I always can't remember. Sherry Hobbit 98. Okay, Sherry Hobbit. Thanks for topping in. You are absolutely right. Innocent until proven guilty. Absolutely. Let the investigation play out. The problem is there wasn't about to be an investigation at all. It wasn't about to be an investigation at all. That's the issue. This was about to get swept under the rug. So now that there is an investigation, if you're saying let it play out, people are taking a while. You know, they letting time is going by. You know, time is of the essence. Hey, T. Louis, they did arrest somebody in Cali. I'm gonna play that later. I think I saw that. It's someone making death threats to the stepmom. Don't quote me. I'm not the stepmom, the mother. Don't quote me. I'm gonna play that video too. Shout out to Compton Ricc Roc. Again, excuse my voice. And shout out to y'all, man. Dopest chat in the land right now. You know what I'm saying? 140, 100 plus in this thing, man. I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? It don't usually go down like I'm excited, man. You know what I'm saying? This is a video that needs that attention in regardless. You know what I'm saying? It's not one of those fun videos for me. It's one of them informative videos, and I'm trying to get my game on. Let's go.
Or they can say, let me tell you an alternative scenario or narrative that doesn't occur. So I don't like grand jury in and of itself. I think grand juries should be abolished. But in the case of, in this case, we have to trust that the prosecutor wants to be fair and not protecting, as has been the case in the history of Mississippi over the decades. Protect those who have been accused of racial hostility and racial killings. And so that's what we hope we're not seeing, a cover up. That's the best way to put it. And so we'll see what's presented in front of the grand jury and how they respond. And on that note, when we talk about this, you know, everybody tells us to vote for this president, that president, this U.S. senator, that. As street guys, and I say as because I still identify right where I came from. I'm everything other than a criminal. I'm still the same other than a criminal. But my point is, we complain about voting. Yeah, the hell with a president, a U.S. senator. You know who street guys need to be concerned with? Prosecutors and judges. That's why you vote. So you can you learn who's running for prosecutor, and you look at their record. You learn who's running for police chief or other law enforcement positions that are based on elections, the judge, and determine whether you're going to vote for that person or not. But you got to get out and vote or stop complaining. You see how they railroading us? They send us to jail on trumped up charges, don't get due process, plant stuff on us, shoot us, and lie about it like they just did the young man Reese in Madison, Wisconsin. We got to vote for prosecutors. In fact, what we did after the killing of Mike Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, we had an election that I was there.
I don't even know about Reese in Madison, Wisconsin. What's the deal with that?
I say we because I was part of that movement. And we worked on electing a new prosecutor and a new mayor. Well, we didn't get the mayor, but we got 2 black council persons on, and we got a new prosecutor. And so that's the power of the vote. And that's what I encourage our brothers to do, because it's not going to stop. It doesn't appear that it's going to stop anytime before white supremacy ends. And I give that another 50 to 100 years, unfortunately, about 3 or 4 more generations.
Definitely. And I know that the autopsy, it didn't reveal if he was conscious or not when he got in the water. And I know Ben Crump and his team, they trying to figure that out. Was he conscious or not when he got in the water? So
yeah, and I wouldn't know scientifically whether they could, but we do know he had a discoloration, as they call it, bruises on the back of his neck, or red bruise. That we do know that, or red discoloration, which reflects fresh bruises. And if you've been in the water, preserved by water, your tissues, then certainly you'll still be able to see that. It'll still be red.
Yeah, and I know it's also being reported that the autopsy reports done by the state is not being released.
And that's what's scary about the grand jury, because if you don't want us to see it and you have a reason for that, okay, if your reason is you don't want to jump to conclusions too soon and ruin folks' lives and cause inflammatory and the community to be inflamed, etc. So let's be very careful and not let much out until we really know what the deal is. Okay, maybe so. On the other hand, let's not let too much out, because then they won't get a fair chance at a hearing. All kind of rational ways to protect the guilty.
It's a enhanced audio that's going viral right now by Nolan's friend that I want you to check out. Check your phone right quick. I want to get your take on it.
Some videos in the middle.
Tito Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir?
Yeah, membership.
Can you give me a description? Angle?
It's okay.
Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
That I did not know that existed. And if this is authentic radio transmission between the dispatcher and the caller, then certainly this turns it on its head. They're observing him injured, asking if he's dead. Whoever on that call, with the technology we have now, and with interviews amongst the folks who were there, or the phone that the emergency call came from, the dispatcher has that number. Someone can get it. Then you'll go to the person who made the call and say, "What did you see?" This is real easy if that is the case. So we'll see what they do with this evidence. The fact that there's some audio from the dispatcher where the person calling asks, or in the background, one or the other, asks, "Oh my God, is he dead?" So that's a whole new level of evidence that I'm interested in seeing where they go with that. And perhaps that's what the prosecutor may have all of this information and say, we're not sharing it because we don't want to bias. We don't want to create bias, et cetera, in the case, because in the media, and she may have that. She may have that and take it right to the grand jury. That's what I'm hoping, if they don't disclose it to the widespread media this week.
Yeah, I don't know how you can justify that audio.
Not with someone in the background saying, "Is he dead?" Even if you were calling to say there was a fight. It sounds like you're looking at something that has already happened, and you witnessed what happened, and you're saying, "Did he die from what I just saw?" That's what you're saying. Oh, is he dead? Or what? Somebody walked you from around the park and said, "Hey," or around the other boat dock and say, "Hey, come look at this." No, you were there. So if that video and audio is correct, it's a whole nother level of evidence that indicates.
Another thing, man, there's all these crimes, being happening and all this other stuff. Yeah, we live in a world of crime, but something like this happens, you know what I'm saying? People think they smarter than the official people that's supposed to investigate this. And in some cases they may be. But in a lot of cases they're not. You're not smarter. I'm guarantee you the stuff you have done has been done over and over and over, With the first one, tried to get away with something that's off.
Kate's culpability.
And just for clarity, what do you personally believe happened to Nolan Wells?
Well, what we're told is that he got on a boat with several white buddies in Mississippi, went to Fun Island, for lack of a better term, where everybody goes to this island to have fun on boats. Overwhelmingly 90 to 100% white, 99.9 perhaps if you include Nolan. And his buddies say they left him there. He ends up dead. His buddies say, "We left him there and we told him to come, let's go." He refused to go. However, we had his phone. And you claim that everybody puts their phone away when they're on the island. And I don't believe that for 1 minute, that teenagers leave their phones for hours just because they're on the island. What's the relationship there? You don't want to drop it in the sand, or you don't the water, you can drop it in the water then. Nonetheless, that, and then of course, them not returning the phone to his mother, time they arrived back, them not reporting him missing to his parents or their own parents. Then we have the young lady, Katie, who he allegedly stayed back to be with. Her sister says that they weren't spending a lot of time with Nolan, and that they.
Hey, Journey Whitley, welcome in. Who's there? Who is they going to prison? Who is there? Who are you referring to specifically? Toy Play 4811. They talking too much. Who is they? T Lou, T Love. I'm just gonna call you T Love, right? All they have to do is pinpoint the location of all the phones, case closed. Man. Okay, the kids. All the kids going to jail? Okay. Just all the kids on the island randomly, or the kids that's involved in a phone call. But, appreciate your comments. I'm just wondering.
Also left without Nolan, meaning they had seen Nolan go somewhere when they were leaving. Did y'all just shake, hug, and walk away? And then someone saw him and said, hey, let's get with him because he kissing and hugging on that white woman and we don't play that and don't want to play that? Or is it, as I think it is, that they had something to do with his drowning and they've come up with a variety of alibis that don't make sense? And so I believe they had something to do with his drowning, or certainly some knowledge of it. They have knowledge of it at the very least.
Judge Mathis, another great interview, very
Okay,
insightful.
Attorney, I
Definitely
got
got
you, I
bring you
got
back,
you, man.
man, to keep us updated on this case. Before we end the interview, let the people know where they can find you. And
Certainly.
Everybody involved.
Certainly. Y'all make sure you check me out on Judge Mathis Instagram. We have some fun stuff and we have some serious stuff on there. And then, of course, Mathis Family Talks, a podcast on any of your podcast platforms and on YouTube, where me and my whole family talk about societal issues, things that affect other families from every level of society, socioeconomically. We have fun talking about our lives, cracking on each other's lives. You'll learn some of our family business that's funny, serious, and otherwise. So check us out. But continue to watch Art. I'm going to be on the Art of the Dialogue every time I hear about a police killing. And we got one that we just saw happen that I'm going to come back and talk about. And that's in Madison, Wisconsin, where the police killed a young man, Reese, who was laying on his side. 3 police officers standing over him, holding him down. Yet one walks up and shoots him 3 times in the back or on his side. We're going to talk about that next. In the meantime, let's keep our eyes on Nolan Wells and let's keep the pressure on. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
I'm going to be outside the courthouse. One of Nolan Wells' homie, Bart.
Oh, it's just Flacco. We ain't messing with you right now at all. Okay. All right, so that was a full clip. Go over all the dialogue. He is doing some dope content. As far as content, always dope, but he's doing good work, better work, amazing work with following this. You know what I'm saying? There's a way to get the word out. There's a way to monetize. You know what I'm saying? Prayers to his friends and families here for sure. Sure. Be nice. All right. Man, again, man, it's 200 of y'all in here. That is so dope, man. I'm glad to see everybody in the building tonight, man. That like on the way in or on the way out, hopefully y'all having a good Sunday. We did the video for Nolan Wells, the whole video for, what's my man's name? Judge Mathis. Wasn't it? But here is 10 hours ago, the video. It's about Ben Crump addresses Nolan Wells' friend's emergency call and says he currently has. So this is the first time Ben Crump is sitting down with Nolan, with Art of Dialogue, and also Ben Crump. Ben Crump is the attorney, if I'm not mistaken, for Nolan Wells' family. That has come to the forefront when they found out he was they were trying to just not investigate the death. There was just something didn't sit right with the mother, so they came forward. Hey, right about now, I think it's a valid conversation. Our dialogue got his own lane, even though you could say it's kind of they are similar, molded after each other, but he has his own lane that could probably stand up against Vlad. That'll be a good little battle. Be very interesting, you know what I'm saying? Like that. Good comment, you know what I'm saying? Let's go to, oh yeah, we here. My bad, yeah. We go.
Ben Crump, happy to have you, my man.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure to be with you.
Ah, man, it's a pleasure having you. It's so much I want to ask you.
It's not even important, but I'm just a connoisseur. We gotta look sharp at all times, man. Present ourselves as we want to be respected, And you know what I'm saying? They got the purple on the what is that? Lavender? Purple on lavender. I don't know if it's true, but they shoved a video of one of the girls the next day partying to show the video. That's crazy, huh? Yeah, I don't know if that's true either. It's so, like my boy Stone, my guy Stone said, man, there's so many inconsistencies, so many false reports, so many real reports being what the hell. You just kind of don't know what to take for face value, who to believe about what, you know. So that's why I'm trying to stay caught up myself. It's good to actually share this and y'all get informed as well while I get informed. But man, it's just kind of trippy, man, you know. I think, yeah, I don't know. Ben Crump reads at a 6th grade level. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. But he don't have facts. You know what's funny? I fancy myself a decent reader or whatever. But when I'm reading on like a teleprompter or something, or not even reading out loud, but kind of just even you guys' name, like it could read something like very specific, and then I should just be able to identify it. But it's kind of hard, you know. So you're thinking it might say something else. I don't know, but either way, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, let's see what he got to say.
There's so much I want to get into. Ben Crump, happy to have you, my man.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure to be with you.
Ah, man, it's a pleasure having you. I mean, it's so much I want to ask you. It's so much I want to get into. I know you're a busy guy, so I don't want.
Hey, Art, you sounded kind of weird right there. That's weird.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure to be with you.
Ah, man, it's a pleasure having you. I mean, it's so much I want to ask you. It's so much I want to get into. I know you're a busy guy, so I don't want to take up that much of your time. Nolan Wells, for the people that's unfamiliar with that case, can you break that down?
Certainly. Nolan Wells was an 18-year-old Black teenager who, on 4th of July, was celebrating with his friends, and he went out on Horn Island. He went with his 3 other friends, at least what we have in the photograph, and they were young white teenagers. He was the only Black teenager, and somehow they all came back home safely on the 4th of July, but Nolan Wells did not come home. His mother, their families announced that he was missing. They were, out of their mind with concern. And then his body was found washed up on shore 2 days later, face down, dead. And so then everybody started to try to say, well, what happened? When you look at the videos, there were 300, 400 people out there. And what we've been saying, somebody knows something, somebody saw something. There was a young lady named Katie who said that, she was talking to Nolan, but then he got back on the boat with the people he came with, or got back on the boat with the boys. And the boys who were on the boat with him said, Nolan said he was going to stay behind with Katie, and that he was not going to go back with them. One of the things that has been bewildering is the fact that if he says he's going to stay behind, why doesn't an 18-year-old get their cell phone? If they're not going to go with the boat, why would they leave it with them? His mother, called his phone 3 times, got no answer after they started getting concerned. And it was when they did the Life 360, trying to say, find my phone, is when she found out that the phone were with the friends. And so her friend went to get the phone. And when they got the phone back, they discovered that there were a lot of Snapchat messages that were deleted. They also found that there were some texts deleted. So that was very concerning to them as they're trying to figure out, what happened to my child? Our child is dead and we have no answers. Nobody's telling us anything. And so it became just an incredibly painful ordeal for them trying to find out what happened to Nolan Wells. And then America became engaged.
Yeah, I would say Emma 9635. First off, welcome in. I would like to say in the interview with Judge Mathis, the autopsy showed that they did listening to you. Yeah, I mean, my voice don't hurt, but my voice is strained. Excuse my voice. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, anywho, we gonna move on, man, because let's go back. I mean, not move on, but move forward.
After they started getting concerned, and it was when they did the Life 360, trying to say, find my phone, is when she found out that the phone were with the friends. And so her friend went to get the phone. And when they got the phone back, they discovered that there were a lot of Snapchat messages that were deleted. They also found that there were some texts deleted. So that was very concerning to them as they're trying to figure out, what happened to my child? Our child is dead and we have no answers. Nobody's telling us anything. And so it became just an incredibly painful ordeal for them trying to find out what happened to Nolan Wells. And then America became engaged in this matter because it wasn't adding up to anybody. He says, I'm going to stay behind, but he leaves his cell phone. He doesn't have his car keys. Well, if he's staying behind and you don't have any of that information, people are saying, did he stay behind? And so that becomes a question. And, obviously there's this CETO audio that comes out that people have did forensic audio engineering on it to try to see what was being said
that's crazy.
On the audio.
That's crazy to say. I mean, when I say crazy to read. Because if anything is true about this, like if true indeed to the fact that Nolan Wells was murdered, not just drowned, didn't just drown to his death, he was murdered. Excuse me, unalive, whatever you want to say at this point. Is this a modern day lynch?
Anybody, he says, I'm going to stay behind, but he leaves his cell phone. He doesn't have his car keys. Well, if he's staying behind and you don't have any of that information, people are saying, did he stay behind? And so that becomes a question. And, obviously there's this CETO audio that comes out.
What is CETO? Oh, CETO. Okay. CETO, the company of the towing company. Okay. There you go.
That people have did forensic. America became engaged in this matter because it wasn't adding up to anybody. He says, I'm going to stay behind, but he leaves his.
Man, we gotta give give Journey a special shout out. We're gonna go on commercial break. This is a gift. Thank you, Journey. Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I like you too, man. You know, thank you for popping in tonight. You know what I'm saying? Because this is an important video. This is really important. Mississippi been doing this, yeah. That's right. Because I'm not from the deep south. I've been in Vicksburg, Mississippi before. Very country, very town, very small, like not big city at all. And it's just like the simplicity, you know, like not in a bad way, but just no or disrespectful way, but just reality, you know.
Cell phone. He doesn't have his car keys. You know, our child is dead and we have no answers. Nobody's telling us anything. And so it became just an incredibly painful ordeal for them trying to find out what happened to Nolan Wells. And then America became engaged in this matter because it wasn't adding up to anybody. You know, he says, I'm going to stay behind, but he leaves his cell phone. He doesn't have his car keys. You know, well, if he's staying behind and you don't have any of that information, people are saying, did he stay behind? And so that becomes a question. And, you know, obviously there's this CETO audio that comes out that people have did forensic audio engineering on it to try to see what was being said on the audio recording of the CETO counter 911 type call. And it's in that call that people say they hear certain things. We have retained audio engineering experts to be able to be able to decipher and to render expert opinions on the validity of the CETO 911 audio that seems to suggest things about the presence of Nolan. And so we are trying not to speculate, we're trying to investigate, but we are asking questions that don't add up to us. And that's what everybody's been doing, because everybody says, how can this 18-year-old college football player who's in tip-top shape just go missing and nobody knows anything? Nobody's seen anything. And the sheriff within, hours after he was discovered, his dead body, they claimed that, that no foul play, accidental drowning is what they suggest. And his family are saying, we can't accept that when you make that conclusion without doing no investigations. And so what they want is a full, impartial, fair investigation into what happened to Nolan Wells. In our community, we see people investigate it very zealously. And so we want the same thing for our children. We want them to zealously investigate this matter just as if they would if the roles were reversed. And that's what I think has people in the minority community saying, hold on, we want to know what's on everybody's phone. We want to know social media, because all of that could become very relevant information as to what happened to Nolan Wells.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the woman that Nolan was hanging out with when he was at the island, Katie, her sister, Gracie, came out and said that Nolan intended to go back to the mainland with his friends, right?
Yeah, there seems to be a conflict in what they're saying. They said he stayed with the young lady. The young lady said, no, he got back on the boat. And so, that seems to be one of the biggest issues that everybody is trying to figure out, as well as the independent autopsy where he had red discoloration at the back of his brain, that was found in the second autopsy, and also the fact that the initial state medical examiner kept possession of Nolan Wells' throat. And we don't know why they did that. Our pathologist, Dr. Roger Mitchell, said when he was the chief medical examiner for the city of Washington, D.C., that they normally would do that, that it wasn't uncommon if they suspected that there might be some fracture or some compressions to the throat.
So after y'all did the autopsy, from what?
Yeah, man. Yeah, guys like this only prey on the family and rob them, acting like they're to help. They're there to help. You know what? I want to say, man, that's you are real talk. That's real talk, man. People like that come around. I hope he's not like that. You know what I'm saying? I hope he's defending, doing the right thing, because this is a big situation, important situation. If he was to get justice for something that was going to get swept under the rug, not only it'll do notoriety for him and his brand, it'll do wonders. It'll be a good thing for the family. So both sides wins regardless. Beware of false prophets. I'm hoping that he isn't one. Yeah. Let's go.
Kept possession of Nolan Wells' throat. And we don't know why they did that. Our pathologist, Dr. Roger Mitchell, said when he was the chief medical examiner for the city of Washington, D.C., that they normally would do that, that it wasn't uncommon if they suspected that there might be some fracture or some compressions to the throat.
So after y'all did the autopsy, from what what do you believe that was on the back of his neck?
We can't speculate. We know that we think Dr. Roger Mitchell should have the benefit of looking at all the autopsy notes and observations and photographs from the first autopsy, and then have, the state medical examiner be able to look at all of his notes from the second autopsy and try to work together to figure out what conclusions that they can draw from the autopsies, both of them. And then also waiting for toxicology. That becomes a factor in finding out the manner and cause of death. But Dr. Mitchell said, and this is a very, very important, he said, if it's a drowning, then that still doesn't answer the whole question of what happened to Nolan Wells, because he said then there are questions about, was Nolan Wells' condition of his body conscious or unconscious when he went into the water? Furthermore, he said, did he go into the water unforced or forced? He said all those things become factors.
Makes a lot of sense. And I know his friend Warren Hudson, he came out with an interview where he made a statement about how Nolan, he was drinking liquor on the boat. You heard about that?
Well, we don't know. We want the toxicology to come. We know when you hear the CETO audio call, it appears that there was some intoxication. But again, toxicology can tell us that. And people's firsthand eyewitness testimony can tell us that. We want answers. As I've said over and over again, I am for truth, no matter who it implicates or who it exonerates. I am for justice, no matter who it convicts or who it acquits. And I am certainly for transparency, so all of us can see, and we can have trust in the system that this was a fair, impartial, and complete investigation. That's what everybody would want if this was their child.
That's a fact. Oh man, everybody get over there to Art of Dialogue. Like I said, he's been doing a good job covering this. Another YouTuber been doing a good job covering this. He's more somebody I look into, and he don't usually cover specifically this lane of content, things like this, but not nationally like this, you know. Compton Ricc Roc, man. Compton Ricc Roc, let's give it up for him, man. And all the dialogue. I've been doing a good job covering it. Nicole, what's happening? I was like, yeah, man. I know that Prince of the Cats. I can't wait till the lawsuits come in and sue. Yeah. Getting them without any still no facts he got again. Okay. I ain't never McGlover in the building, man. What it do? Backers in the building as you, man. So hey, Prince of the Cats, I didn't really hear him accuse anybody. He might be insinuating or explaining, but he's really like tap rapping the situation about information being withheld and how it's kind of like we're getting more into it. Like, well, I want more autopsy to this, to that, you know. It's just pointing to those boys, you know. And it don't look too good, you know. But I digress. But Ben Crump has never accused the boys of anything, though. Exactly, that's what I'm saying, Nicole. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know whether he's gonna get sued and all that. Justice. A lot of times we don't have justice that we deserve. Also, so the other races don't either. Huh? Okay, shout right. Cole is more of a media. Crump and Nolan parents never accused anyone of anything. Yeah, they just wanted to know what happened exactly, and that's what I think. And that's it. And we know what it is, but that's how your boy was portraying it too. If you ask me, it's another Al Sharpton. I don't know what that means. So like what? A good speak. Oh, the money signs or whatever. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Why have not reopened the Tamla hospital case? Not enough publicity. Yeah. You know what? Let me write these names down because I gotta. It's the recent in Milwaukee, and now there's this one. We got to look. So I don't understand why the Tatum guy is coming after the parents. So yeah, he I don't know what's up with Officer Tatum. I don't even know why they call him Officer Tatum. I had to look that up. But anyway, whatever. That dude is like, it's like he got paid or he just delusional and he just drank some Kool-Aid and he's going with it. I don't know. It's just weird. That's weird, you know. I don't know, man. Let me find Compton Ricc Roc. I like talking to y'all, though, man. You know what I'm saying? In the chat, man. We got Nicole just loves in the chat, man. She always does. We got my guy, you know what I'm saying? McGlover in the chat, you know what I'm saying? So that's Compton Ricc Roc. You know, he covers a lot of different stuff, but he been covering Nolan Wells for real. So I'm gonna just probably play his last two, maybe. Let me see. Let's see what. So he got that's 16 hours ago. This one day ago. So we did Nolan Wells to complete. These people still playing in our faces. Okay. All right.
You're now watching Compton Ricc Roc TV.
Let's get to the content. Compton Ricc Roc. Go get over there.
Straight. Out of all the people that's been suspects, all the people who should have been arrested or should have been talked to, they didn't get arrested. They haven't been talked to yet. But somebody has been arrested? Huh.
I was yelling at Casey's football scrimmage, dog. Like going up Saturday, man. You know, going up, yelling. So strain my voice, my vocal cord. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Oh yeah, the Tupac trial. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right, Nicole. Oh yeah. Keefy D. Oh, Nancy Grace chewed his butt up though. Yeah. She got on him. She got on his head. She really got on his head. I think I saw play some of that. Yeah, but that's what's going on, Mr. McGlover. Yeah, man. I get some tea or something. No, it's too hot for tea, bro. Thug it out. My shit heal naturally. Oh, you know what? I got some raw honey though. I'm gonna do some of that. Boom.
Somebody been arrested. Y'all want to know? Matter of fact, listen, man, I'm not going to do all this talking. Let's go see who got arrested. Let's go.
Willie D live.
What's up, family? New developments in the Nolan Wells case. The FBI has cracked the case wide open.
Yep. I forget if I've seen this one.
Don't get too excited yet. I know y'all wondering, who is it? All right, let's go. Let's check it out.
Look, fam, it took about 100 agents to get this job done, but they got it done. They arrested a California man. He is behind bars.
A California man?
After sending Nolan Wells death-related threats to one of Nolan Wells' friends' stepmom, who is a Jackson County judge.
Wow. So a California man got arrested for sending threats to a judge of Nolan Wells' friends, the mother, whoever this woman is. But you mean to tell me that was the first arrest? This man don't even live out there in Mississippi. He's from California.
Honey.
All right, let's finish it.
It's not really the news you were looking for, right? Yeah, I mean, this guy had nothing to do with the disappearance and murder of Nolan Wells. He was not on the boat.
Right.
He had not had any possession of the phone. He didn't have the keys. He wasn't the last person seen with Nolan.
And it sounded like he got a Spanish last name. Boy, he got arrested. I told y'all, they're going to get everybody else what it's time. Hey, they going to lock everybody else up first. Man, this dude way in California. And he the first person to go to jail for nothing to do with Nolan, but he sent some text messages out.
Yeah, that part, man. I will stay sealing his autopsy and send it straight to the grand jury's raising eyebrows. Yeah. Mississippi.
Some emails, whatever he sent out. They got him first. Wasted all that money to go get him first.
But they arrested him. Who is this guy? Joseph Alfredo Vasquez Dumas.
Joseph Alfredo. I told you. There you go. Mexican man, huh?
He has been charged with interstate transmission of a threatening communication, a federal crime carrying a maximum sentence of 5 years in the big house.
Wow.
Investigators say Dumas used the social media handle Yay962 to send Judge Ashley Cole threatening Facebook messages in the aftermath of Nolan's death, according to the Sun Herald. The charging documents include several messages allegedly sent from the account. One read in part, y'all ain't ready for this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it anyway. Get the kids out of the room. There will be a bomb coming to your guy's office in the next few days. It's gonna blow you away when you see it, LOL. Probably best to have the boys there to see it as well. The message continued, blood, so much blood everywhere, hard to clean.
What was his reason for sending these messages? What was his reason? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand nothing. Why is he doing this? Like, is he mad because they not handling business over there? He feels some type of way. He feel like he got to ride for Nolan because it seemed like nobody's riding for Nolan the way that he think they should ride. So he got to go out there and put some work in. So he say that's what he gonna do. But it amazes me how he get put in cuffs, arrested, but nobody else was inside of a police station yet didn't ask questions.
Tripping, Nicole.
Especially from a boat. But yours will be quick, I promise. It concluded, I got all your info. Not even the FBI can stop this. Once that package is open, the timer will start. And then you have about maybe 10 seconds or less to ask God for forgiveness. Other messages allegedly threatened to strangle Cole's sons and included pictures of her children. Authorities linked the social media accounts to Dumas by tracking email IP addresses associated with it and cross-referencing date of birth, phone number, and street addresses tied to the account. Here's what I do not.
Hey, I'm gonna say it again, man. When you're reading like a teleprompter and some of these names on here, like I've seen Nicole just vlogs. That's just like easy. Brenda Park. I started seeing. I'm like K-Dub, K-Dub, okay, K-Dub 3892. You know, like it's kind of. But then when you start, I don't know, like reading a teleprompter or something, or if I'm just, or as you know, when you're reading something, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Start Willie D out, man. Start Willie D out. He ain't trying to sound like that. But again, I don't know. I think him and Damian Porter got some of the coldest deliveries, YouTube deliveries, period. Because, you know, he just sneak stuff in there. Like, I swear I just heard him say, yay, like, was that the real, what's that called? Was that the real handle that or was that something he just threw in there? I don't know. Shit, wow, Nicole. Shit, wow. Let me see.
Not even the FBI can stop this. Once that package is open, the timer will start. And then you have about maybe 10 seconds or less to ask God for forgiveness. Other messages allegedly threatened to strangle Cole's sons and included pictures of her children. Authorities linked the social media accounts to Dumas by tracking email IP addresses associated with it and cross-referencing date of birth, phone number, and street addresses tied to the account. Here's what I do not get. Why drag this nice, innocent woman into all of this? We had no knowledge that she even existed until now.
Who is she? Who is she?
Like, she didn't make any public statements. She didn't tell her son to scrub his social media account. She didn't call the other parents and tell them to tell their sons to lay low, be quiet.
Oh, this is the lady. Okay. Okay, I think this is, who is it? Is this Wyatt's stepmom or Warren's stepmom? One of them stepmom. I think this is who this is.
You know, she hasn't made any public statements that I can recall. Okay, all right, on a serious note. Okay, she did do all of that stuff, and she put herself out there. But here's the deal. Joseph, you need to understand that these people have a two-tier justice system. One for them and one for him. Him is you.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're threatened, well, you're going to have to figure that out. You're going to have to do your own investigation. But if they're threatened, then that's when they use the tools.
They come get you.
That's when they come out and use the tools.
They come get you. We just said that. The whole, since this big thing started, if it was the other way around, they'd come get you. And guess what? You fit right in with us. You broke the law. You going to jail. Use all the resources, the whole bag, all the money. Go get him. Yep. But it's not for them.
Because with all of these suspects, they have made not one arrest.
We're not going to get off subject, but they still are mad about OJ. That's crazy.
But all of
that, the whole since this big thing started, if it was the other way around, they'd come get you. And guess what? You fit right in with us. You broke the law. You going to jail. Use all the resources, the whole bag, all the money. Go get him. Yep. But it's not for them.
Because with all of these suspects, they have made not one arrest. But all of the people that's connected to this case, all
haven't been arrested yet.
All of the people.
Hey, this is a good point to talk about right here. Ruby Lee, 982001. You people seem like you're missing the big picture. One of those kids' mothers is a judge by the social media. By their social media accounts and text messages were cleaned out. Okay. Is there not a way to retrieve data from? Okay, I think you're trying to say that, I don't know, I think I'm getting what you're trying to say, but what I want to say about that relationship is those kids, something went wrong. They didn't call the authority. They didn't call these people, even though it may seem like they called their parents. And some of these parents are like judges and things like that. They told them what to do, and things follow, like the deactivation of accounts and all that type of stuff, in my humble opinion. Let me see. Cloud, I thought data is stored in the cloud. Do you need a federal warrant to retrieve this? You might need, I watch a lot of these little Fed shows. You might need a warrant to get into the cloud. And then even people don't commit crimes, don't subscribe to the street, subscribe to Doc TV and the Foul Report, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm gonna lie. OJ playing his out to the T. Okay. But yeah, I think you might need what I'm saying about the crime thing is don't there's a way people think, oh, I'm gonna delete messages and all stuff. And there's a way for them to retrieve deleted messages, and I bet you anything when it comes down to it, they're gonna say the black boy has something to do with the watch and see. Okay. Well, they already insinuating, like trying to say, oh, you was drunk or he was coked out or whatever, it has nothing to do with nothing. Cole said, yes, there's always a way. Nothing is ever deleted from your phone or computer. Yep. It's every say, man. Excuses. Clever, So, she say, the Mississippi State made excuses and lawyer up because they clever young people have seen it happen to them black people. Yeah, that's some gang. That's a bar.
Who have
use all the resources, the whole bag, all the money. Go get him. Yep. But it's not for them.
Because with all of these suspects, they have made not one arrest. But all of the people that's connected to this case,
haven't been arrested yet.
All of the people who have been connected to circumstantial evidence, none of them, not one arrest, not one charge. But they got to go all the way to California to charge somebody.
California! They came all the way to here to get somebody for talking about some BS. He did break the law, though. He did commit a crime. But he's not the only one that committed a crime. Yeah. All evidence. What about that phone call? We're going to get to that. It's another video where they trying to discredit the the audio.
And they charge somebody for making a threat. They ain't charge somebody for murder.
No.
They got all kinds of people they could charge for murder. They ain't charged one person for murder. They charged one guy for
Ruby Lee. That's another bar. And so they figure we can get away with that. With it, that's how our justice system is blind. More of those folks are concerned. People are, excuse me, hold on. And so they figured we can get away with it, and how our justice system is blind, where those folks are concerned. People are outraged, and this is not only the tragedy that we are facing. You want to change it, get out and vote. Let's get these racist Republicans. Let's take our house back. Yeah, man. I would say, especially with voting, please do, if anything, there's important to put polls of voting too, like your local community, the prosecutor, the judges, look at what they're gonna stand on. We don't get to control a lot of stuff like certain things, but locally we do. So they charge a man for sending threatening messages when the only parents getting threatening messages. Daily eggs. Man, yeah, I'm staying on topic. I'm gonna stay on topic, but man, hey, Nicole be on them. Nicole be on them. Yeah, and nothing happening. Nothing happened. They came all the way out to Cali. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
threatening a judge.
How serious? That's serious, but it ain't serious as Nolan Wells. Yeah, he not here no more with us. They done had his funeral and everything. So how is that most serious to get an arrest when you got a young man who's not here no more and nobody even been talked to, let alone a arrest?
This is what I say about when people who are in the judicial system, people who work in law enforcement, they get special treatment. Now, these are people that our tax dollars pay. We pay their salary. We pay for them to go on vacations. We pay for their children tuition. We pay for them nice clothes that they wear, that jewelry they wear, those trips that they take, that nice food that they be sitting around there eating and charging the city for. We pay for all of that. But yet, they got more rights and privileges than we do. They get respected. Their lives are more respected than our lives are.
Well, this ain't nothing new. That's not new. It's been like that since the beginning of time.
Think about that. I can guarantee you, if Nolan Wells was a white boy, and let's just say he was a police officer or a police officer's son, case solved. Case solved, because they would use their resources. They would use all of their resources. Yeah. So the FBI has already said they're coming after you if you're making threats to any of them people in Mississippi. Now, Mississippi they have an interesting relationship with the FBI, because no matter who gets killed in Mississippi under suspicious circumstances, they just can't seem to find a suspect.
Wait, Nicole, you was asking the question. Say, okay, question. The judge is the stepmom to the boy who made that emergency call, right? If so, wonder why he was talking like he was calling the shots. Question.
Can't
Bingo. Can't find out who did that, but they can find.
Mississippi got they have an interesting relationship with the FBI because no matter who gets killed in Mississippi under suspicious circumstances, they just can't seem to find a suspect. Can't.
Bingo. Can't find out who did that, but they can find out everything else. Can't find out who committed these crimes, but you can find out everything else.
It seemed to charge anybody and put anybody in jail. And, even when you call the FBI come through and they like, everything checks out. We don't see anything. No, we ain't find nothing. Couldn't find anything. Well, boy, was they quick to make an arrest when they said, when they want to do something, they can do it. When they said, we coming, they only made that announcement.
Just like they tracked his IP, they went through the man's phone. They found out where it was coming from, but you can't find out what was going on in Nolan's phone. You can't find out what was going on in the friends' phones that was on the boat.
Announcement, maybe 4 or 5 days ago, that they said that they were going to make arrests for people that are threatening anybody, family or law enforcement, members of law enforcement or city or state officials. They said that they were going to make arrests, and they made good on it because they have the resources. So when they want to do it, they can do it. It's simple. It's not difficult at all. When they want to do the job, they can do it. So, Joseph, I don't know if you was playing or what. I don't know if you just.
He won't play like that again. I bet you that. He won't play like that again. I bet you that. Man,
thought it was sweet or what? But at the same time, to make a threat against good on it because they have the resources. So when they want to do it, they can do it. It's simple. It's not difficult at all. When they want to do the job, they can do it. So, Joseph, I don't know if you was playing or what. I don't know if you just.
He won't play like that again. I bet you that. He won't play like that again. I bet you that. Man,
thought it was sweet or what? But at the same time, to make a threat against a sitting judge and that sitting judge is not liberal, if that sitting judge is part of that MAGA type thing,
you're done. So with. Well, there's been an arrest. Might not be the arrest that we wanted, but it's definitely the arrest that they wanted. See, you play with us, we gonna play with y'all. They letting it be known what time it is and not playing. This cover up right here, man, this should open the eyes of a lot of people, man. I don't want to keep hearing about this big U stuff, this WAC 100 stuff. Nobody care. I don't care about it. That time that came and went where it's not even important. I got somebody send me a video this morning of some street stuff or I don't too much care about that, man. I'm looking like y'all sending me these videos to look at, but nobody has talked about this yet. Still, these dudes is still want to talk about the nonsense. I just don't get it. I don't understand. It just let me know where they at mentally. Anyway, man, leave y'all thoughts in the comment section. What do y'all think about this arrest that been made? Share the videos. Compton Ricc Roc with Compton Ricc Roc TV. I catch all of y'all on the next reaction.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel.
Head over there to Compton Ricc Roc, man. Man, shout out to Compton Ricc Roc. You know what I mean? We got one more. One more with him from his channel. I'm just saying with him, like I did a video with him or something. So this the most recent one. Came out with 16 hours ago. Nolan Wells' friend under fire for starting a give and go attempt to silence people. Let's check that out. And you're going to have to bear with Willie D once more.
Everybody getting paid off this Nolan Wells situation. Let's go over here and check this out, man. Let's go.
Willie D live.
What's up, family? You're not going to believe this one. Nolan Wells' so-called friends have started a give, send, go to raise money to stop people from hurting their feelings. Yeah, their feelings are hurt. Saying bad, nasty things about them. And they want you to stop. Yeah. They also threw in a few death threats. Ain't nothing like some good death threats to get them to give you some money. Or just tell them your life is threatened. They love that I fear for my life thing, huh? They love saying that. No matter what the profession is, they love saying they fear for their lives. Interesting. Absolutely interesting. Hey, fam, you want to see it? Here it is. Here it is. You thought I was lying, didn't you? Look at that.
All right, let's stop here. Their goal is to get $100,000, which is cheap. They probably could have got more. How big this case is. They done already raised $51,730. Man, that was fast. These people is getting paid off of it. They like, man, everybody else getting paid. We didn't see the family start a GoFundMe. We might as well start us one too. This give, send, go. We seen Chud the Builder do the same thing. He got a GoFundMe, and I believe he raised over $200,000. He was unable to get his money out, but I think he's still incarcerated. But this is crazy, man. They done raised $51,000. They're going to reach that $100,000, if not more. Wow.
Hey, man. They got a give, send, go.
And it's also fundraiser funds will be received by Taylor and Cox law firm. So yeah, that's who they going after. Everybody who talking about them.
That's 50. So by the time you see this, I'm sure there'd be well over $100,000 because it is so easy to manipulate people who support stuff like this, support people who behave like this, people who leave their friends out on an island all by himself and then tell law enforcement, tell his family nothing. Tell his family nothing. Claim they talked to law enforcement, but we have no official reports. We have nothing to show that they actually spoke to law enforcement. But we know for a fact they didn't speak to the family. They haven't spoken to the family.
Hello, Belinda.
Family, you got to check out this message. It's a long one too, boy. They made sure that they were very convincing. Check this out. It sounds very convincing. Like, if you're kind of slow, it'll make you dig in your pockets fast. On Independence Day weekend of 2026, lives will change forever.
Yes, lives was changed forever. Man, I think the people that's doing content on this we need to start a GoFundMe so we can be able to create more content at a faster pace, faster rate, get better camera equipment, get better microphone, sound system, so y'all can hear us loud and clear when we cover this content. Everybody is getting paid, man.
A group of friends lost their best friend, Nolan Wells. No family should have to endure the pain of losing a son, and no friend should have to grieve the loss of a brother. But instead of being allowed to mourn, what followed was an unprecedented online campaign of accusations, harassment, threats, and defamation. Since Nolan's death, Warren Hudson, Jack Patalo, Morgan Seymour, and many others have been inundated with death threats, threats of violence, and defamation. They have been falsely and wrongly blamed by individuals online and in the media of either directly or indirectly having a hand in Nolan's death. Most of them could not even attend their own best friend's funeral. Why? Because race baiters sent a deranged army after them online in the name of justice.
Man, I hope, listen, man, I really hope the truth come out. Now, if, like I said, if it was an accident, then it's an accident. But if it's foul play, if there is signs of foul play and they able to prove that it was foul play, I can't wait. I can't wait for either result to come out. Because like I say, we just want to get to the bottom of this, man. I know people is tired of this, tired of the games they playing in our faces, slow dragging the process, playing, trying to cover up stuff. When it come out, if it come out that it was foul play, then what? Then what?
Since the beginning of the investigation, these young men have cooperated with authorities, turned over all information they had, and provided an overwhelming number of witnesses accounting for their whereabouts. Some of them even resorted to speaking up publicly to defend themselves against baseless allegations. But unfortunately, it has become clear that the truth doesn't matter. Countless large voices across social media declared them guilty of crimes they could not have committed and have never been charged with. Their names, faces, and personal information were spread across the internet. They and their families have received thousands of hateful messages, death threats, and calls for violence. They have been threatened online and in person countless times. There have been bomb threats, packages sent, and credible threats of which arrests have been made. Parents have feared for their children's safety. Lives have been turned upside down, and some have had to go into hiding. Al Sharpton, Ben Crump, and the usual suspects of social media personalities, national news media, and local provocateurs continue to invent and spread false narratives and lies with no accountability.
So who they basically mad at is Ben Crump. They mad at Ben Crump. They feel like he's responsible for everything. They say he only come out when it's a big case like this concerning black people. He don't come out no other time. And every time you come out, it's this type of situation to where it's a GoFundMe. It's all this social media circus parade. So they really mad at him. But at the same time, Ben Crump, you got to turn it up, man. You got to turn it up. Y'all got to get cracking over there. I don't know what y'all doing. What happened to that audio? It don't take that long to get no audio. What's taking so long, man?
This is the typical tactic of Ben Crump and the like. They come to communities like the Gulf Coast under the guise of seeking justice. But it has become painfully clear that their version of justice is stirring division, ruining lives, and then leaving when the money is dried up. We have seen this same pattern time and time again, most recently during the Carmelo Anthony trial. Let's stop right there. We have seen this same pattern time and time again, most recently during the Carmelo Anthony trial. That is dog whistling 101. Yeah, fam, because they know many people in that community where they're from was totally against Carmelo Anthony. So yeah, they threw that in for good measure.
Now, with the Carmelo situation, you see how fast he was found guilty? See how fast he was locked up? With no signs of foul play when it was on him. He in jail right now.
For everybody who hate Carmelo Anthony, they know they can get a buck out of him. Yeah. Good move, though. Whoever wrote it, that was pretty good. That was a good one. That was a good one. No matter what anyone believes about an ongoing investigation, our legal system exists for a reason. Evidence belongs in the hands of law enforcement and the courts, and not in online mob campaigns fueled by rumors, edited clips, edited audio, speculation, or misinformation. This must stop. This fund is created for the sole purpose of fighting these individuals. Our goal is simple and twofold. Our first goal is to raise money to defend these friends against incoming wrongful death actions filed by Attorney Ben Crump and his team. Our second goal is to fund a robust legal team to sue for the litany of slander and libel being spread by not only Crump, but also many social media influencers, news outlets, and local provocateurs who know better. If litigation becomes necessary, this fund will help provide the financial support needed to investigate claims, retain legal counsel, preserve evidence, and hold accountable those who cross the line from expressing opinions into conduct the law may recognize as actionable in any jurisdiction we can find them. This is not about silencing legitimate discussion or respectful disagreement.
Yes, it is. All this is a play to get people to stop talking because they feel like the internet is doing more than that sheriff's department. They feel like the internet is solving the case. All this came out once that audio was released, and you could hear what sound like Nolan's name being called in the background after he was supposed to have been left on the island. See, the internet is doing more job than Ben Crump and Al Sharpton. It seems like they getting some of their evidence from the internet.
That's a big that's a big reason to do this and share this too. So you know, get the word out there, get people talking, spread stuff like that, you know. Not just for the clicks, views, and likes. It's for I'm hopping on here just to catch up. I was like, let me stream, and people fill in some of these holes, you know, some of this missing information.
This is not about silencing legitimate discussion or respectful disagreement.
Yes, it is. All this is a play to get people to stop talking because they feel like the internet is doing more than that sheriff's department. They feel like the internet is solving the case. All this came out once that audio was released, and you could hear what sound like Nolan's name being called in the background after he was supposed to have been left on the island. See, the internet is doing more job than Ben Crump and Al Sharpton. It seems like they getting some of their evidence from the internet. We done seen Ben Crump say, y'all keep on dropping these videos. Keep on talking about it. Keep on sharing the message because we looking at that as well. Once people heard that, that's when they said, oh, we need to shut this stuff down. We need to silence these people from talking because they solving the case. What do y'all think?
This is absolutely about silencing legitimate discussion or respectful disagreement. People are free to ask questions and express opinions. This is about drawing a line against defamation, targeted harassment, threats of violence, doxing, intimidation, and coordinated campaigns that destroy lives before the facts are known. We know the risk some of you may feel outwardly supporting Warren, Jacks, Morgan, and the others. We understand better than anyone the threats you face. We know that although you know the truth, publicly supporting these young men may cause...
I don't even want to see no more, man. We clearly see what's going on here. So they the one and got to GoFundMe. Go and say whatever you call it. It's the same. All that's the same thing to raise money to silence people who's talking. This is a scare tactic to get people to stop talking about it. And it looked like it might work on some people, but some people don't care. They ain't got nothing to give anyway. So So we're gonna see how this all play out, man. I hope they get to the bottom of this and solve this and find out what happened. Because there's too many games being played, and everybody is frustrated with this because people had their opinion on what they think happened. A person just don't end up missing and then brought back to the same spot he was missing at after he been missing for 2 days, 1 or 2 days. So yeah, this stuff is just becoming a money grab, a money play. It seemed like that's all it's about right now. It seemed like everybody is in it for the money at this point. This man and lost this young man and lost his life. He didn't been buried. His worries and problems is over with. But this still needs to be solved, just like every other case gets solved when it's the other way around. People get arrested when it's the other way around. So yeah, man, leave y'all thoughts in the comment section. What do y'all think about all this? Share the video. It's Compton Ricc Roc, Compton Ricc Roc TV. Subscribe to the channel. I'll catch all of y'all on the next reaction.
Yes, sir. Man. We're gonna go one more official, and then we're gonna call it a wrap for the update tonight. Yeah. Okay. True crime report. So that's 18 hours ago. I think that's the
Nolan Wells audio
as long as on 20, we're gonna do this. Nancy Grace, you know, when she started getting it cracking. Be too down too easy. I ain't never seen nobody getting there. I'm out. Too much talking and not enough walking. Made us a gift for civil rights. And okay. Okay, man. Y'all let's focus. Figure out what we missing here, you know. It's the first time seeing this video. Let's see what they got.
Call. Is it real? Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
Everyone in the background is saying, is he dead? Nolan, wake the f up.
Claiming they're sinking and calling for help. And yet in the background, are we really hearing all of this other activity?
Nobody has ever, none of the kids on this boat have ever admitted that anybody said that they thought Nolan was dead.
Detail assistant, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description?
Very
Angles.
Nice. Let me get them.
Hello.
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
We're sinking.
All right. Well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't have
the
tag
unless
on
you
here.
have a membership number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at.
You are hearing the audio distress call from the boat. That is the boat on which Nolan Wells went to Horn Island. Now, there have been a lot of different accounts about whether he was on the boat when he came back from Horn Island, when he was supposed to come back from Horn Island. He never came back from Horn Island. And you can clearly hear on that version, which we obtained from the Mississippi Department of Marine Research. They released it. It's not something off TikTok or Insta. And that's what you hear. Let me hear 184 one more time, please.
Detail assistant, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Angles. Hello.
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
All right, so I want to be clear with this one thing because I know you mentioned before.
Oh
Is there
man,
any
there he
chance
is.
or any
Officer
knowledge that you have
Tatum.
that anybody deleted stuff from his phone?
Brother to me. Nolan lit up every room he walked
I never
in.
seen
4th
him
of July,
talking like
everybody was out there. Nolan rode out on the Triton, and then we had a Palm Beach, 18 Palm Beach. There was 4 guys on that. That's the group, which was ranged from maybe 10 to 15 or 16.
Man, that part, I haven't said this on this stream, but I'm gonna say it tonight again. Man, I got 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. My boys are 8 and 20 years old. I have an older kid, an older boy, and a younger boy, and they have their friend groups, they have their professional groups, they have their athletic groups, they have their, that just makes me keep an eye on who they're hanging out with, their whereabouts. It's not always deceit and everything that has to be involved in it. It's just open your eye a bit more as a parent, and it's very eye opening. I'm sad, unfortunately, it had to be a life loss to do that type of thing. But if you have a child, you should care. There you go, man. Shout outs, to that comment. Vladimir, peace. What else we got? They're good. Don't tell it's not a problem. When people tell me I didn't hear what. Man, Brenda, I be going crazy when people act like I'm kind of this what you said, and that people somebody tells me I just act like I don't know what you're telling me is false or you just making it up. I don't know, man. Yeah. Wait, what? Whose black leg was hanging off the boat and who took the picture? No bootlickers allowed. Huh? What? See, true be told. Okay. What's going on there?
How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
All right, so I want to be clear with this one thing because I know you mentioned before. Is there any chance or any knowledge that you have that anybody deleted stuff from his phone?
Brother to me. Nolan lit up every room he walked in. 4th of July, everybody was out there. Nolan rode out on the Triton, and then we had a Palm Beach, 18 Palm Beach. There was 4 guys on that. The rest of the group, which was ranged from maybe 10 to 15 or 16 people on my buddy's tide line.
Yeah, so y'all pretty much having a good. So you get ready to leave out of there, getting towed out. Yeah. And then where's Nolan in this situation?
Well, the last time I saw Nolan was 3 o'clock, and Nolan was cradling a girl in his arms, Katie. Katie. And Katie, Nolan was sitting there, and the last time I saw him, I looked at Nolan, and Nolan was like shaking his head, laughing, and I was like, "Dude, you crazy?" I was like just joking with him, and
Katie is like, yeah. Shout out True Crime News Report, man. Hit the head over there. I'll hit them with a like too as well, man. Katie just like if she was just a girl who went out to have good 4th of July, like. Jesus. Our phone conversation feels soundstage, too calm, too sarcastic. The boat issue is a diversion, like the dude is going to tell him one lie after another.
But anyway, Nolan, that was the last.
Having a good. So you guys get ready to leave out of there, getting towed out. Yeah. And then where's Nolan in this situation?
Oh, he has been knowing Katie. I'm sorry. I didn't know
the last time I saw Nolan was 3 o'clock.
Okay.
And Nolan was cradling a girl in his arms.
But still.
Katie. Katie. And Katie, Nolan was sitting there, and the last time I saw him, I looked at Nolan, and Nolan was like shaking his head, laughing, and I was like, "Dude, you crazy?" I was like just joking with him, and but anyway. That was the last I laid eyes on him. But when we were leaving, obviously, no one is getting left at the island that came with us unless they demanded to, be there and asked,
I
this
saw,
is a very common thing.
what, man? I had to look this dude up. Man. I was like, who the is Officer Tatum, man? Who is Officer Tatum? What did I ask? Who was Officer Tatum in Mississippi, right? It says, background of Brandon Tatum, former officer, served with the Tuscan Police Department as a patrol officer, SWAT operator, and public information officer before leaving 2017. Media figure. This is that was former officer. Part of his resume is media figure. Host the online program show The Officer Tatum Show. So that's what I'm watching right now with this clip. Or at least this clip part of the video with over 1 million followers. Okay. Involvement in Mississippi case review. Travel to Mississippi to review evidence and interview individuals regarding the death of Nolan Wells. So he went out there to, soil some stuff too. But the public stance is publicly push back against claims that race was a factor in the tragedy, arguing after his review that the focus should remain on the factual circumstances of the incident. So he's trying to take away is this fact is race is a part of this, there's no way else to cut it, he just something is up with it, you know what I'm saying? Don't smell right. Katie said she stayed until 7, seen Nolan more because he left on the boat. First time I saw him was with Charlie and Dad. Oh, okay. All right. That's the first time, baby, Officer Tatum. Okay.
At Horn Island, when you're out there, I looked at Nolan, and Nolan was like shaking his head, laughing, and I was like, "Dude, you crazy?" I was like just joking with him, and but anyway,
oh my God,
Nolan, no, that was the last time I laid eyes on him. But when we were leaving, obviously, no one is getting left at the island that came with us unless they demanded to, be there and asked. This is a very common thing at Horn Island. When you're out there, a lot of people ride out there with someone and in with somebody else all the time. I've done that 100 times. It's a very common thing. But
did you really do it all the time?
Nolan was sitting by the boat with that Katie girl, and my buddy yelled for Nolan.
With that Katie girl.
Get on the boat. We're leaving. The boat's having issues. And no, he didn't say that, but he was panicking. Nolan, get the F on the boat. Get on the boat. And Nolan said, no, I'm staying out here. I'm going to ride in with somebody else. And it's not uncommon to hear, but it's not like my buddy asked him one time. My buddy asked Nolan multiple times to get on the boat. Nolan, get on the boat. Get on the boat. We're leaving. If you're coming, you got to come now. And Nolan made a decision to stay out on the island. And like he said, how
many people heard that?
At least 5. Everyone that was on our boat right there, because the Palm Beach had already left. My buddy went ahead and went home on the Palm Beach, and 3 guys on the way back. And Nolan wasn't the only person to ride out there with us and in with somebody else. We had multiple people in our group that rode out with us and rode in on someone else's boat. And that, like I said, that's not an uncommon thing to do. A lot of people do that. I can name probably 50 people out there that day that ran out with somebody and ran back in with somebody else. So, it's not like it's an uncommon thing, but it's not like we just left him there or my friend just left him there. Nolan made a decision to stay on the island after my friends asked him multiple times and told him to get on the boat, and he decided to stay.
And I heard the girl that he was with, Katie, had text somebody that she heard people yelling
correct
for Nolan to get on it. Is that true?
And I have a picture of that. She texted my buddy, and the next day everybody was panicking and everybody's texting Katie, because she was obviously seen with Nolan the whole day at the island. Katie sent a message to my buddy the next day and said, this is the last time I saw him, he's really sweet. But she also mentioned that the last time she saw Nolan was when my buddy was yelling at him to get on the boat. And she was right there to see that Nolan decided not to.
So what's your intent in calling the Coast Guard, right? Because right now, Nolan could be with a chick. He could be with somebody else.
Right.
He could have gone back with somebody else. What made you concerned enough that you felt like you couldn't weigh it out anymore. You had to call the Coast Guard.
Well, I mean, like I said, my friends and I have been on the water our whole life. Stuff happens. People die all the time. I know people that have died out there. And, you know, it's a fun place to be, but it's also a very, very dangerous place to be if you're not handling it right. And Nolan, so I hadn't heard from him. And obviously, I'm thinking I'd way rather be safe than sorry. I mean, I would rather call the Coast Guard 100 times and lose my mind over it, and my buddy be okay, than, you know, not, and I, you know, me not know where he is and him not be okay. And so I called the Coast Guard, and I talked to them on the phone for like 20 minutes, gave him a description, what Nolan was wearing, the last place we were at, the last time I saw him, who were we with, what boat we were on, the conditions of the water, just, you know, just a summary. And I called Miss Christine back after, and I talked to her, and I said, I got to contact the Coast Guard. I'm not sure who she called or, you know, what she did, but I think she said she was going to make a couple phone calls to either DMR or Jackson County Sheriff's Office. And I mean, yeah, I was thinking worst case scenario. Like, I mean, you know, I would way rather be safe than sorry about this, you know.
The Officer Tatum on YouTube, he has interviewed Nolan's friends. Now, we're about to bring on 2 experts, each one taking a different viewpoint on that call. But Officer Tatum, thank you for being with us tonight. What do you make of that audio, officer?
Well, Nancy, thank you so much for having me on. If you put the audio within context, it is an impossibility unless these people are prophesying that somehow they're saying Nolan's name or projecting that Nolan is somehow injured, hurt, or killed, because we have witnesses that have come out. When I interviewed Warren, a lot of those kids that I talked to already alluded to this way before the audio came out, that they were gone. And people had already saw Nolan after they had left. The young lady, Katie, that he was hanging out with, I saw a text message from her alluding to the fact that she never saw him get on that boat at all. We have video of the boat that we shared on our social media page, and it shows all the occupants on the boat, and Nolan was not there. And so if a person thinks that they've heard something on the audio, they have to compare it with context. Maybe they said, is it?
I don't know, man. When I heard him at first, he was sounding like he didn't believe his own words. This Officer Tatum do. He sounded more confident here, just in my opinion, but I still think he's full of
dead, talking about items that could potentially have died or damaged on the boat, given the fact that they were sinking. So I think people need to put this in context and reevaluate what they're listening to on the video, because if you are going to make a staunch stance in the wrong direction, in my opinion, by saying they're obviously talking about Nolan, it is incredibly impossible. One more thing real quick, that when you look at where they were at when they made the phone call and their GPS coordinates, it literally put them on the island. And we know, and not on the physical island, but really close proximity to the island. And we know, because we have another video of Nolan being out there and also all the other boats surrounding him, that this would have had to happen very near to hundreds of people in hundreds of different boats. So somebody would have seen something if there was a dramatic commotion like this occurring.
I hear what you're saying, Officer Brandon Tatum.
The state of Mississippi is trying to reshape the narrative on the Nolan Wells death? Really? So it has been reported that Nolan Wells, witnesses have come forward to say that Nolan Wells was drinking heavily during the day of the 4th of July. As to say, that's why he drowned. Because remember, authorities have already come out and said, even before they did the autopsy, that Nolan Wells drowned. And his mother, Christine Wansley, said that was not good enough for her, that she needed a medical explanation as to what led up to those events of him. If they say he drowned, right? Now, let me ask y'all something. Was Nolan Wells the only one on Horn Island with his group of friends that was drinking? Let's go back through the evidence. Now, as you can see, the gentleman right next to Nolan Wells has beer dripping all down his chest. The other guy had a beer can in his hand. Now, these children are all under the age of 21. None of them can legally purchase alcohol except for Bart. Wait a minute. Bart, were you the one who bought the alcohol for the underage kids that day on the boat on Horn Island? Was it you? Oh, this plot is just really thickening. Not to mention, if Nolan was drinking, if the toxicology come back and he did have alcohol, that doesn't negate the fact that something nefarious happened on that island. Just because Bart was drinking is going to lead to all the things that we see plain as day in our face. We're just going to bypass this, right? We also are going to forget the fact that allegedly they deleted everything off of their social media accounts. We're gonna not think about, oh, Nolan was drinking, so now they got to, if Nolan was drinking, why everybody got to lawyer up? Why everybody got an attorney? And if Nolan was heavily drinking on the 4th of July, we just gonna forget the fact that the telephone calls for the tip line was routed to Judge Ashley Cole's office instead of going to the Jackson County Sheriff's Department? Really? Yeah, all these things cannot be coincidental. We're gonna negate the fact that now Governor Tate Reeves is coming out trying to assault Ben Crump's character, call him a bold-faced lie. Really? We're just gonna negate the fact that
y'all know who this is. She's spitting. Missed that part. What's up, Rizzle? Was it happening, Rizzle? I don't know what been defeating his own permanent. He was drunk, leaving. Why not just leave the stomach and the contents? Yeah. I don't believe his friend comes somebody on the island there. Mama's got push issues, get the stomach examined. Yeah. Yep. She got push her issue. She been pushing issue like Nicole said, you a parent, something you a mom, something don't sit right in your soul. So she been pushing it, Jimmy Jones. So now you overlook the fact that he could have been drunk and okay, but that's a possibility. So what is the reality? What are you trying to figure out? Trying to solve Nolan Wells cases, but ignore all the cases around in your community? Or it's cool. I'm not. I don't need to try to figure out nothing around my community or anything like that. I don't need to figure out this case either. The thing about it is you need to keep up to date about it, because if you don't know about things like this, it may happen to you, sir. And if I feel like if your child was unalived or drowned or something like that allegedly, and if they just told you that's all it was and you felt some type of way, you would want people to help you too. Whichever way it came, the help came through. One, we don't freak with the water if we don't get drunk. Yeah. The water wasn't decided to hold those also. I don't know if any water was just on. All right.
the Sheriff's Department the day of, right when their social media accounts. We're gonna not think about, oh, Nolan was drinking, so now they gotta, if Nolan was drinking, why everybody got a lawyer up? Why everybody got an attorney? And if Nolan was heavily drinking on the 4th of July, we just gonna forget the fact that the telephone calls for the tip line was routed to Judge Ashley Cole's office instead of going to the Jackson County Sheriff's Department? Really? Yeah, all these things cannot be coincidental. We're gonna negate the fact that now Governor Tate Reeves is coming out trying to assault Ben Crump's character, call him a bold-faced lie. Really? We're just gonna negate the fact that the Sheriff's Department the day of, right when they pulled Nolan Wells' body out of the water, stated it was a drowning. Are you serious?
Yeah.
I just want to know this. With those children who were drinking, nobody is drawing attention to that. And even if Nolan was drunk on the 4th of July, that does not give anybody a pass to do anything harmful to him or take his life because he was drunk. And it does not fall on him. That does not make him responsible for leaving here.
Dr. Judy Melanek, I'm a board-certified forensic pathologist, and I just watched the Nolan Wells press conference, and I wanted to share some context for everyone. Being able to definitively state the cause of death after a body has not been found for several days and has been subsequently autopsied twice with signs of decomposition is incredibly, incredibly unlikely. Drowning is what's called a diagnosis of exclusion, which means that when you've got a fresh body, you want to be able to look at the body and see if there's any other causes of death for that body that is found in water that exclude the death being exclusively a drowning. So, for example, if someone is shot and then thrown in the water, you'll have that gunshot and they'll be bleeding, and the gunshot will be the cause of death, and the thrown in the water is not the cause of death. It's not even on the death certificate. If a person is strangled and they die from strangulation and then their dead body is thrown in the water, their body will take on water, but the cause of death is going to be strangulation, not drowning. Also, for any kind of traumatic injuries. Now, we got to talk about natural death for a second. If someone has a heart attack while they are swimming, and because they're having the heart attack as they're exercising in the water, and they take on water and they drown, the cause of death is actually drowning, and the heart attack is listed on the death certificate under other significant conditions contributing to death. So even though the heart attack might have killed them on dry land, it might not have. Most certainly they wouldn't on dry land. So we defer to the hostile environment, which is the water, to call it a drowning. Now, identifying natural disease and identifying trauma is relatively easy in a fresh body. It can be very difficult in a decomposed body. His body was found here, and this second autopsy done by Dr. Roger Mitchell wasn't until 4 days later. So we're dealing with quite a bit of decomposition, even if the body was refrigerated during that time.
Now, their lawyers are using subpoenas to try to get some answers. They're asking multiple tech companies to preserve relevant social media and phone records. It's still unclear how Wells's body ended up on the shoreline of a coastal island 2 days after a boating trip with friends. His cause of death is undetermined, according to an independent autopsy. The state autopsy reportedly is complete, but the results are not yet public.
We are begging, if anyone knows anything, his friends, strangers, please call the hotline, because we will not be able to rest until we get answers.
The boat returned from Horn Island carrying Nolan Wells' phone, but not Nolan. During an Independence Day gathering, the 18-year-old had become separated from his companions. They believed he had another way home. His parents rejected that explanation. What happened between his final reported sighting and the group's departure is central, although authorities had not established that a homicide occurred. This story concerns an unexplained death and may be upsetting. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to True Crime News Report. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell us where you are watching from as we examine the evidence. Nolan Xavier Wells was an Ocean Springs teenager, student, and football player nearing his 19th birthday. His parents, Christine Wells Wansley and Elmore Wansley Sr., knew him as someone who stayed connected and communicated plans. Among those linked to the timeline were his friends Trayston Shepard, Warren Hudson, and Javon Williams. On July 4th, Nolan joined a holiday gathering on Horn Island, a barrier island reached by boat. The vessel connected to his group reportedly departed around 9:56.
Hey, chat, y'all know if his brain was removed? Also, that's what it's Michelle was asking.
6 a.m. and arrived at approximately 11:14 a.m. The wider party traveled aboard several boats, making passenger movement harder to reconstruct. Photographs, videos, and witness statements placed Nolan at the gathering during the afternoon, but online interpretations soon complicated the record. One circulating video captured a confrontation and a voice apparently requesting a phone. Attorney Ben Crump initially discussed claims that the voice was Nolan's. Trayston later said it was his own voice and that he, not Nolan, was involved in that confrontation. Javon said he saw Nolan that afternoon. He also explained that phones had been left aboard a boat to keep them safe from the water. That account offered a practical reason Nolan's phone was elsewhere, but it did not establish his location when boats began leaving. The footage confirms only what it visibly shows. Captions and theories added online are not verified evidence. According to friends, Nolan planned to remain with Katie McCormack and return aboard another vessel. Yet Katie reportedly believed Nolan had already departed. Warren said the group never intended to abandon him and understood that he had secured another ride. Trayston said he left earlier after his own confrontation. Those explanations did not satisfy Nolan's parents. They believed their son would not voluntarily stay on a remote island without his phone, clear communication, and a confirmed journey home. The accounts may reflect confusion, but they leave a critical gap. Who actually knew Nolan's plan before the final departures? At roughly 4 p.m., a sea tow call reported that a vessel was taking on water. Bart Edmiston Jr. reportedly assisted the group. Accounts said a transom plug was removed so trapped water could drain while the boat moved. Bart later cooperated with investigators and had not been publicly identified as a suspect. The boat emergency explained the urgency surrounding its departure, but not Nolan's absence. When everyone reached the mainland and expected rides were checked, the alarming truth emerged. Nolan had never returned. By late evening on July 4, the belief that Nolan had found another ride was no longer holding. He had not returned to the mainland, and no confirmed witness could place him safely aboard another vessel. At about 11:07 p.m., Christine Wells Wansley received a call that raised the alarm. She contacted people who might know where Nolan was, checked location information, and learned that his phone was already back on land. A family friend retrieved the device from a friend's home. At approximately 11:49 p.m., Christine reported Nolan missing, turning uncertainty into an emergency. Time now mattered, and the search area was vast. The response expanded across Horn Island and the surrounding water. Jackson County deputies, the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, the Coast Guard, National Park Service personnel, fire crews, aircraft, volunteer boaters, and the United Cajun Navy joined the effort. Searchers faced miles of undeveloped shoreline, dunes, heat, limited visibility, adverse weather, and changing currents. Drones were deployed, although technical problems disrupted some flights.
It could prove swelling from the injury, something that doesn't happen in a drowning. In one of these videos we saw, like, it was something Ben Crump was saying on the Art of Dialogue. There was some kind of dark or red coloration in the brain.
While vessels conducted shoreline patrols and sonar sweeps, Nolan remained missing throughout July 5th. On July 6th, a National Park Service ranger located him near the island's northwestern tip. Sheriff John Ledbetter led the investigation, while Coroner Bruce Lind confirmed Nolan's identity. Drowning was considered early, but it was not yet a final determination. Data collected by the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources provided a mechanical record of the boat's route. The vessel departed Horn Island at 4:31 p.m. after the reported emergency and was assisted for part of its journey. Its track then led toward the mainland, into Fort Bayou around 5:52 p.m., back to the dock at 6:06, and later to the Fort Bayou launch. Reports about whether assistance brought the vessel back toward the island require careful comparison with the complete track. GPS establishes where a boat traveled. It cannot reveal each passenger's actions, conversations, knowledge, or intentions. The CETO recording confirms that a caller reported a boat taking on water after its bilge pump stopped working and requested assistance. Public debate soon focused on words and voices said to be audible behind the caller. Those interpretations remain contested. Wind, engine noise, overlapping speech, distance from the microphone, and compressed recordings can change what listeners believe they hear. Nolan's family requested independent expert analysis of the original audio. Social media transcriptions, however confident, are not authenticated evidence. Digital records could narrow the remaining gaps. Footage reportedly shows preparations to leave Horn Island and raises the question of whether Nolan appears aboard the distressed vessel. Investigators can compare original videos with metadata, location histories, messages, call logs, photographs, GPS records, and marine communications. Christine pursued legal access to Nolan's technology and social media records. Original files matter because edited reposts, missing context, and AI-manipulated material cannot carry equal evidentiary weight. The Mississippi State Medical Examiner's Office conducted the official examination. The family also commissioned an independent examination by Dr. Roger Mitchell, who reportedly listed the cause and manner as undetermined, pending further investigation. Undetermined does not establish homicide. It means toxicology, environmental conditions, medical findings, and Nolan's final movements still required clarification. Reverend Al Sharpton and the NOC joined the family's call for answers, voiced through Attorney Ben Crump. Subscribe to True Crime News Report for verified forensic and investigative updates as this case develops. Warren Hudson said Nolan intended to return from Horn Island with someone else, so the group did not believe they were leaving him without transportation. Trayston Shepard's contribution concerns the confrontation video. He said the disputed voice was his, correcting claims that Nolan was heard demanding his phone. Javon Williams reported seeing Nolan on the island and said phones were left aboard a boat to protect them from water. Katie McCormick reportedly understood that Nolan had already departed with his friends. That conflicts directly with the belief that he stayed to travel with another party. Christine Wells Wansley and Elmore Wansley Sr. rejected the idea that their son would remain without his phone or a confirmed ride. Some accounts can coexist. The differing understandings of Nolan's departure cannot all describe the same plan. The discrepancies require verification, but do not prove deception. 3 possibilities remain. Nolan may have encountered an accidental water-related incident after becoming separated from his group. A medical emergency or impairment may also have reduced his ability to seek help, although toxicology and medical findings are needed. A third possibility is outside involvement that has not been established and requires investigation. Nolan's uncertain final location, conflicting transportation accounts, and unresolved forensic questions keep each explanation under review. Those gaps justify continued investigation, but do not prove that any named person committed a crime. Bart Edmiston Jr.'s documented connection is limited to reportedly helping the distressed boat. His father, Bart Edmiston Sr., and attorney Russell Latino challenged accusations online through a reported cease and desist action. Bart Jr. had not been publicly identified as a suspect. Threats, edited footage, unsupported labels, and allegedly manipulated material cannot replace authenticated evidence. Repetition can make an allegation seem established, but it does not make that allegation true. Investigators still need final forensic conclusions, toxicology findings, professional analysis of the original C-tow recording, complete phone and social media records, authenticated photographs and videos, and additional witness interviews. Those materials must support one consolidated timeline connecting Nolan's final confirmed sighting with the boat's movements. Until criminal charges are filed, there is no trial, verdict, or sentencing to report, and no courtroom conclusion should be added. The case returns to a turning point. The boat left Horn Island without Nolan. It is reported that friends expected him to use another ride. What each person understood remains disputed. His final movements and medical explanation remain unresolved. Nolan's family deserves a complete answer, while uncharged individuals must not be treated as guilty through speculation. What do the authenticated GPS, phone, audio, video, and forensic records reveal about Nolan's final movements? Subscribe to True Crime News Report, activate notifications, share this documentary, and comment respectfully on which evidence investigators should prioritize next.
Nolan Wells.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's yeah, I'm caught up now, man. Again, prayers to the family. You know, I think I'm gonna try to get back on here tomorrow, see what else came out about it. We need to keep up on the shooting that happened in Milwaukee, and something else that we just Judge Mathis on the look, y'all. Again, lastly, I want to say you really, yeah, kids. This case should really be touching towards you, you know. And so hopefully you guys going to this week, being blessed, being alive, being prosperous, you know. Prayers to Nolan Wells family, and we're gonna catch you on the next one. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us tonight. Y'all was really dope in the chat, man. I appreciate y'all. Man, you know what, man, clap it up for y'all, man, on the way. I'll holler at y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, amen, Marie.